So in this video we will work on our edit book functionality. So let's go back to our code, and to edit our book detail we will need another model. So let's go here and let's copy this model. Firstly, let's go here and edit this comment. So this model is for alerts. So let's put it like that, and let's copy this whole model. Oh my god, I'm sorry for this mistake. Let's minimize this, let's copy this, and below this the adding model, something went wrong, so we don't have the comment tag there, and so this model is for editing book details. So in this we will say so this model is for editing books, so we'll give it the ID of edit book, and so another thing we have to do is we will say edit book form. So form ID should be edit book form, and the button name should also be edit book btn. So this should be good, and we will also give all the fields ID. So this will have edit book title and another class we will say book description, and we will say give a ID of book author. So inside this second model we have given all the fields ID. So this we will require this later. So let's also copy this data toggle and data target element and paste it inside the edit book button section, since we want this button to trigger a open a model. So I think we don't need this because we will be doing with the JQuery, but what we need is ID, and ID is the book ID. So ID should be echo and book ID. So this is all we need here. So let's save this. So after saving this, let's go back to our JQuery, and since we are going to work on our same code, we will copy this save book code and we will paste it below. So we will say edit book button, and after the button is clicked we want to open model. So model, which model? The model ID is edit book, so we want this model to be show show. Okay, so for now just comment this code and let's check if our button is working perfectly. Let's refresh this. Okay, so failed to open a stream book.php. Okay, we're having this inside the .2, so we don't have index.php. We're having this error because we haven't okay, so there is a space. We shouldn't have a space there. Let's save this and go back to our system and refresh it. If I clicked on it, so this is not giving let's go to our okay, there isn't any error, so I think let's click once again. So the model is not showing. Let's go back to our model, and our model ID is edit book. So let's copy this, and we're seeing here is if the edit book button is clicked, then we want this model to be shown. So anyways, I think this is because we are not giving these two elements to our button. So copy this and go below here and just define them here. So if I save this, if I go back to, so now the model is being shown here. So this is the same model. Let's check if this is showing me the same model or not. Let's say edit book details, and if I refresh this, then if I say no, this model is giving me the old model. So what we are doing wrong here, so let's check. Okay, is the model okay? So edit.model show, on click edit book button. Oh, I'm sorry, so the book doesn't have the this is not because of we are not giving it this two element. We can delete this here. So what we are doing wrong is we should give a class of edit button. Okay, so edit button, just copy this and come back to our let's paste it here. I'm sorry, not here, under this, and we'll paste it here. It's not ID, it's a class. So let's save this. Let's refresh this, refresh it, and if I click here, then it should give me the model. I don't know why it is saying me this. Let's refresh it once again. The model is not showing. The model ID is edit book and so hello edit book model. Okay, so edit book model, if I click edit book button, then the action should be performed. The edit book model. So let's check our model name. Yeah, edit book model should be open when we click edit book button. So I'm sorry, let's refresh this again, check. That's not working. So let's go back to our I think it should have this little, what to say, this should work, but I don't know why it's not working. So the model ID is fine and everything is good. If I go to the okay, so this should not be here. So this is the biggest mistake I'm doing here. So let's refresh this. If I click here, so now we are having this model. So okay, so let's minimize it. Let's go back to our JQuery. So after we display our model, and we're going to perform a request, post request. So if we don't need this if and else section here. So if okay, so now we are going to pass a e variable here, and after we do it, and we're going to redirect our request to send our request to book.php, and the data should be not this form, but we will send data of edit ID, and which is e.target.id. So basically what we are doing is we are getting this ID value and we are sending it as a edit ID. So we are getting this ID from the button here. So here the ID is defined here, and we are getting it below there. So if okay, let's go back to our book class, and we will check if the is set post. If we are getting edit ID, then we want to say edit book, and we will call function edit book. Okay, so let's go back to our book function, and we will say function, and we will define a function called edit book. So with this we'll also need post data. So we'll save it, and so inside the post we will have this edit ID. So we will have here edit ID, and so let's define a query select all from books. This time we are going to only get a one particular book details. So it should be edit RD. So after this we will execute our query and we will get our data. So we will have database connection and we will perform a query. So query should have SQL as variable, and so if we will check if result num rows is greater than 0. If there is record, then we will fetch it using while loop. So inside while loop we will say row equals to result fetch a suck, and inside this we will have data and book title equals to row book title and data book. Let's copy this same thing. It's same. We'll also need book ID here. ID. Let's copy this and paste it here. Secondly, we will need book title. Third, we will need book description. So let's copy this and paste it here, and we will need author. Let's copy this and let's also paste it here. And after we fetch the data, we want to return the our array, so we will return it as a string. So okay, so this will be data. Okay, and let's save this for now. Let's go back to our if condition, and we will echo the edit book string. So let's save this, and okay, let's all this well. Now if I go back and if I try to print the data, so let's just do it okay. So let's refresh this. Let's also clear our console. If I edit, and we're getting the values, all the values. So yeah, we're going good, and now we will set the value. So let's say a value for what was our model, field names, so edit book title. So edit book title. Okay, so let's paste it here, and so Control C it, V. Okay, so this will be book description and author. This should be book ID. So we don't have this book ID field. We will create one, but we don't want to show the book ID to our users. So let's just defined it here. So we will have a field of input which is hidden, and okay, so name will also define a, we'll have book ID. So we'll say update book ID. Okay, update book ID. Okay, that's it. So nope, we will say give a book ID of book ID. So let's go back and check for once. No, we are not getting this, getting our value here. So let's go and check what we are doing. Okay, so we haven't defined the value here, so we should be defining our value here. Let's copy this and paste inside all the value, and let's say book description, and inside this we will say book author, and lastly we will say, oh my god, what have I done? Okay, so let's cut this and let's please paste it here. We will say book ID. So let's save this all, go back to our page and refresh it, and if I press this, we're getting all the here's data here. So this is how we get our data, and in the next video we are going to update our book records. So thank you guys for watching, and keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.